Joining us now on NDTV is Member of Parliament from the Shiv Sena, Priyanka Chaturvedi. Priyanka Chaturvedi, your first thoughts on this split verdict today. Disappointed?
Quite disappointed, and actually it just gives a true picture of what India thinks about marital rape law. I was hoping that the Delhi High Court would show the way, considering how Kerala High Court also had taken a stance on it. But now the ball is in the Supreme Court. I somehow have come to believe that the country is split on this decision, and it is something that all stakeholders need to discuss, but it is something that women need to have, a right that they need to have in cases of marriages where we see a high number of marital rape cases where husbands get away with the behavior they display. So I think it is disappointing, and I would hope the Supreme Court would take a more pragmatic stance.
But you know, we often hear this argument from those that defend this exception to the rape law, that this will somehow, unsettle marriages in the country. Is it so archaic today that marriage for many is still thought in terms of, a license to force yourself on your wife, on your partner?
Absolutely. It is about, it is something that India needs to do away with, considering we are amongst those handful countries which haven't criminalized marital rape, and considering we have progressive laws as far as women's rights are concerned. This is one thing which is stopping India from really being able to give women the justice they seek. And this entire argument of marriages failing and interference in marriages, privacy being denied in terms of marriages, husbands being denied their rights, I think it is a ridiculous argument to have. If you, no woman is crazy to go and use acts which are criminal in nature to use to destroy her families. This is a very I would say an ambiguous defense that is coming, and putting the onus on women to carry forward the tradition of a family or carry forward the responsibility of being, a part of a family.
So can I ask you though, that as a politician, as a member of parliament, what is the general feeling when you talk to fellow MPs and lawmakers? Are they also still stuck in that old mindset, that archaic mindset? Is it going to be a long road to convince parliament, at least, to overturn something like this?
Absolutely. These discussions, wherever I have had it, unfortunately, we haven't been able to reach at a consensus. Everybody thinks it's interference in private lives, interference in family lives. It will disrupt families. It will disrupt traditional family values that India holds dear to itself. So I would say even the parliamentarians on this particular issue are very split. But as a woman, as someone who has been speaking vocally about women's rights, this is one right which is being denied to them. And the onus of carrying forward India's values, culture, traditions, etc., every time falls on a woman. And when does women speak about her rights, and when does women get the rights that she duly deserves, is something that India really needs to discuss as we progress as a nation. So even the parliamentarians, I can tell you for sure, are split on this particular issue.
At the heart of it, of course, is the issue of consent. And it seems that there is a complete lack of understanding that a woman has to consent to a sexual act, and that includes in a marriage. That seems to be completely missing here, the whole concept of consent, isn't it?
Absolutely. The assumption that just because by the virtue of marriage, a husband can do what he wants without the consent of his wife is something which is absolutely denying the woman her right to be able to say yes or no to a particular act. So yes, I totally agree with you that the idea of consent is totally missing in our narrative when we discuss issues which are sensitive in nature, which are I would say sensitive as well as progressive, but at the same time addressing this particular issue.
Just one final question, Priyanka Chaturvedi. I mean, just on the fact that you had male judges at the moment. It was a two-judge bench, both men, kind of deciding on this. Would you hope that there would be a woman judge also when the Supreme Court eventually does take this up? Because it just seems that, men are just deciding what's good for us, what's right for us, what's lawful, what's not.
Unfortunately, that's been the tradition in India since 1947. We thought our constitution gave us equal rights, but women have not been at the power tables to be able to make those decisions. Judiciary is also a reflection of women's participation in spaces of being able to take that make that decisive call. Unfortunately, we have also seen women judges giving a call from more traditional perspective and a more exclusive perspective, where they feel that women should be, when they sign up for a marriage, they should be in agreement with whatever the husband wants them to do. So I think whether it is a male or a female judge deciding this, they have to look at it from the perspective of a rights-based approach, where a woman has the right, whether in a marriage, outside of marriage, to be able to approach the courts of law or the police forces and ensure justice is done to her for something that she was not a party to and was forced upon.
Priyanka Chaturvedi, thanks very much for joining us with your views on this big story today. Thanks.